Okay. What happened?
How y'all doing, y'all?
What happened?
How y'all doing? We
Okay.
live.
We are
We had
here.
technical
I'm telling you,
difficulties,
man, it's the
y'all,
end of the
man.
year.
Man, happy holidays to y'all. How's everybody doing?
Hello.
So what's going on, people? Happy holidays. How you feeling, baby? I'm
Oh, I'm
sorry.
feeling
It's
good.
me all myself tonight. I'm production. You know what I'm saying?
Production.
Yeah, I'm production.
Production.
So it's just what it is. What it is. I'd rather speak from here.
Oh, it's all good. But how's it?
Okay.
Yeah.
So how you doing, baby girl?
Hi.
I got my daughter in the building. This is my special guest today for our
Hello,
season finale.
hello,
My
hello.
beautiful daughter,
Hello.
Aaliyah.
Hello.
So you already know how we do it. We always start off asking how how you feeling, what's going on. So how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's good to be home.
Yes.
It's good to see my parental units.
Yeah.
It's good to see my potato chip.
Yeah.
Man, we got saying. I'm about to get the shirts for real. I'm about to get a
Saying.
Yeah, that's for real. So how you doing, honey bear?
Oh, I'm doing great. I made it to 44, y'all.
Hello, 44.
Woo!
Yeah, that was dope. That
Yeah,
was dope.
had
It
a
was
pajama jammy jam. It was off the chain.
Yep.
Yeah, it
Party
was really
too
off
hard.
the chain. Party. And
Yeah.
I appreciate,
Thank
one of the biggest things I want to
Yeah.
say is like time, and that's the best
Oh,
gift
thank
can
you to
give
everybody
somebody,
that
you
took
know
the
what I'm
time to come out and, you know,
saying? Yes.
just spend time, even if you didn't play games, even if you didn't dance, but you just came just to be in the presence and celebrate life with me.
That's very
and
important. I mean,
It was really nice. Thank you to
It was.
everybody out there.
Yeah, for sure. So, being over 40, I definitely appreciate, your gift of time. So, the people in my life that give me their time and the people I give my time to, just understand that's the gift. That's the gift of life.
Yeah, and there was a couple of things that I really wanted to give my time to that I should have really given my time to, but I could not. And it wasn't that I didn't want to, so don't even charge it to my heart or my head because I just was not able to.
Right.
And
Things happen.
and
Things happen.
my baby's in town, and it's my birthday.
Party
and
like a
different
rock star.
things.
You know, too much rock
A
starring.
little too much.
Too much rock star.
Rock star feel.
You know what I'm saying?
We took a whole new meeting to party like a rock
Like a star, but
And,
So for the season finale, it was only best that I bring my daughter.
Yeah, we were trying to get our little my young life down here. Hey EJ, I see you watching, baby. You should be down here on the show.
Yeah,
But
it's okay.
But it's okay. We love you. Thank you for the
At
support.
the end, I want you
son.
to come down here and make a guest appearance. I want you to throw a peace sign. You don't have to say that. And I know you're not like a camera dude, so
Yeah.
I understand. But my baby is.
Yeah.
She ready. She was ready before she got off the plane. She's like, I'm the executive producer. So okay, I'm gonna let that go. So the reason why we're wrapping up season one, we wanted to accomplish some things. We wanted y'all to get to know us, like open our home, open our hearts, open our our minds to a perspective, a different perspective.
Yes, thanks to all the feedback. Thanks to all the support.
Thanks to the distributors and the sponsors. For sure. Mason's Cheesecake. Hey, it's not too late to order a gift. I know he can make it happen. MasonsCheesecake.com. He can get an order to you today. I guarantee you. I know my guy. I know he's that guy.
I'm excited to try it because I've been seeing it all the time.
Oh, you haven't tried a Mason's cheesecake?
Hey.
Okay, it is time on the show.
Okay, you are
you
ready.
Are the honorary.
You are ready.
I don't know what kind
Ooh,
it is.
it smells. Let me just give it a little
it's
smell.
Coconut. I think that's coconut cream.
I don't know. I'm smelling a cinnamon gingerbread situation.
Okay, right for the holidays.
Gingerbread. Okay.
I don't know. I'm feeling
MasonsCheesecake.com. I'm telling you, get an order
I see
in.
your movement, bro, too.
Yes. Oh yeah, we love you, bro. Hey, you just celebrated a birthday. Happy birthday,
Oh, happy birthday!
Yes.
December 20th.
Was it the day after mine or was it the day before mine?
It was 2 days before yours.
Happy belated, bro, for sure. Happy holidays to you and yours.
Shout out to the family, man. All the family's birthdays too. December is full of birthdays. My mother's birthday's today.
Happy birthday, Mom!
Yes. Christmas Eve. Happy birthday, Mother.
Happy birthday, Sister Johnette.
I love you.
Definitely,
yes, Johnette, I love you. I miss you.
Yes.
I miss you.
Happy birthday to you.
Sure.
Auntie Lane was the 20th. Happy birthday to you.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it was so many just people. Mashavu, my twin, happy birthday to you. Thank you so much for all your support. Naomi, Happy birthday to you.
Yes.
Another birthday
Dang,
twin.
it's a
George
birthday.
Lee. Happy birthday to you. Another
Oh, my
birthday twin.
goodness.
The 22nd was going down.
Yeah, it went down.
Yeah,
It was a lot.
It
The
was a
hospital
lot of
rooms
going
was
on
full.
that was going on earlier in that year.
So it's only right that we have our daughter here that we talk about, some family stuff. We ending the show, right? So we started talking when you came home.
Yes.
We're just gonna spread it to we're gonna spread it to our extended family. So tell the people, how it was growing up living with your parental units.
Okay.
From the beginning to the end.
No,
I'm just playing.
Well, it all started.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time. No, it was good. It wasn't like anything was like, oh, I had a tragic childhood and no, everything was good. I felt like, it was needed.
Yeah.
And I say that because if at the time I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. I got this in the mere measly age of
8th grade, maybe?
I don't know. When I thought everything, I had everything figured out. No, I didn't. But looking back, I'm definitely very grateful. Because, I needed those lessons. And I know, without those, I probably wouldn't be where I am today.
Absolutely.
And
where are you today? What are you doing?
Tell the people.
Well, I'm living full-time in Arizona. Best decision ever.
Getting out of Portland.
Getting out of Portland was definitely really good for me. Definitely a change of scenery, change of people, change of weather, thankful Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And I gained a new group of friends.
Yeah.
I gained a new environment. I got closer to grandma since living with her when I moved down there.
Thank you for that. My mom.
Yeah. But now I'm living, on my own. I have a
You've been living on your own for a while though.
yeah.
Graduate from college.
I
We already
graduated-
told them that.
Yeah. Finished college. Have
How
my.
many years has it been?
It's been 2 years.
Has it been 2 years
since I
since you
graduated
graduated
from
from
college?
college?
Yeah.
Goodness.
Time is just
Time
moving.
goes-
Time is moving.
I remember
and I
going
know
through
it.
that. Yes, she's getting there. It's been
Yes. Yeah. 2 years since I graduated. Have a wonderful roommate. Have a new boyfriend.
New boyfriend. How'd you meet him? I want to go straight into it. How'd you meet him?
We met through a dating app.
A dating app.
Yes.
Oh, that's the new world order.
It is. It really is. I just feel
We
like
had a very good conversation.
we did have a
last
really
night
good
about
conversation
that.
about it. And
Yeah.
I just feel like at this day and age, the generation that I live in, I just feel like, there's a lot of, and I'm not saying that there wasn't pressure for you guys, but I just feel like there's a lot of pressure for us to do so many things. Like we're supposed to go to high school, then you're supposed to go to college, and you're supposed to get your career, and you're supposed to do this, and you're supposed to do.
Same pressures we have.
Yeah, so there's so much, and I just feel like everything's moving so fast paced from this
very
new day and age
more
of
fast
social media, and if you're not hip with it, you're gonna get
left
behind.
behind. Yes.
So I just, for me, my main focuses were school, work, make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So when it comes to the old way of, I guess, meeting people dating and going out, and I don't know, I'm a very awkward person when it comes to social interactions for the first time. I'm very, may not seem like it, but I'm very kind of reserved and kind of just to myself when I go out to new places and see new people. But once you get to know me, or once I kind of feel your vibe, then I'm like, okay, we're chilling. I'm good to just let it go.
Yes. Let it all hang out.
Let it all hang out. But when it comes to the opposite sex, absolutely not. I'm just ooh.
Yeah.
It's hard for me. I can't speak for anyone else. I just know that's just me.
So dating that actually made it better.
It made it better for me because I was able to be vulnerable without being vulnerable in person.
And I'm going through that awkwardness, as you say, as far as that first date.
I think, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I see it.
No, the way that she explained it to me, because sidebar, everyone, I was not necessarily 110% against the dating app. I just didn't understand why it was such a thing when it's better to get to know people. You know what I'm saying? Face to face, because there's so many catfish out there. predators out there, different people that you don't even know who they are behind this keyboard versus going out there. However, I am learning, and and that's what I do appreciate about our family is like we always are open enough to continue to learn from each other. And what I'm learning is there are some people out there that are awkward when it comes to dating. There are some people out there that don't have that confidence, and so it might be easier to do that. So as long as you use it right, then that's cool.
Like, so you were telling us, like you was hipping us because. Oh yeah, she put us up on some straight. Yeah. I'm still old school. Like I still have to meet my people. Right. Live.
No, you're gonna have to meet them eventually. You can't. Some people try to stay behind the wall of the apps and things, but like you're never gonna really meet people that way. Right. But like there's people who go on there to just kind of lurk and just be there. There's people that are there to seek acceptance or to seek that
that don't have that.
Right. That's usually people like you guys are talking about the love language. Those are the people who are wanting the attention, or what was the one? It was like not acts of service. It was not gratification, but in that sense.
My baby was paying attention to our podcast
because I watch weekly. Right. But basically, the people, and that was me for a really small amount of time. I went on there just to feel like wanted or get the attention or
reassured.
Right. Yeah. Someone was just like, "Hey, I think you're cute. Okay, dope. Thanks. Bye." Like that sounds good. Like,
that's weird.
That's all I did.
That seems weird.
But ultimately, the purpose of it for me is to eventually find someone that is also like me, who is having like a hard time.
Just with that first step, like you said last night.
So you found somebody to date that.
Yeah.
So
go on and give him a shout out. Go on and give him a shout out.
Hey Blake, how's it going?
Right.
So it do work, the dating app.
Yeah. Oh, I think it does. It definitely takes away that awkward first step for me. And then just kind of getting to know that person, and
it makes sense actually.
It makes sense, but if you don't mind, just for the viewers that may be out there, what's the first step that you're talking about as far as you?
The first step is just a hello, just like a hey, how's it going? Things like that. Like I would never, if I saw someone like before, like if I saw someone on like the set. In the store, like in a Barnes & Noble or Starbucks or whatever, and I'm like, ooh, they cute. I'm not gonna be like, hey.
How you doing? Right.
Absolutely not.
You have to find them on some kind of social media platform.
So then let me ask you this, if you don't mind. Is it, and even in
it's adult life,
I was just gonna say,
it's a fear of rejection in person. You can reject me through an app all you want to. That's fine. I never gotta
so that makes convenient.
Right.
It's convenient.
Right.
I don't have to get in person because for me, if I get rejected in person, then I'm like, dang, now I gotta do this walk of shame. Right. I gotta go to my car. I gotta sulk for a second. Yeah. And then I gotta go home.
Right.
And then
dope actually.
Yeah, and that's just
that's using it correctly.
That's for anything though. Like that's for, I have some slight stage fright. I have, it definitely, senior year of high school is definitely a step for me because I didn't feel I was, I guess, good enough for the certain things that I didn't do until my senior year. Right. And that was because of my fear of rejection. Like, I don't like people looking at me, having their, like, their opinions, things like that. Now I could give two whatever's about people's opinion. Right. But,
but it goes to, it's in stages.
It's in stages. Oh, 100.
Yeah, and there are some adults, what I'm saying, that, to be honest with me, it just, as of recent, actually, no, I didn't gonna lie, I'm gonna keep it 1, 0, 0. I still have fear of rejection, and that's why I haven't started this book that I've been supposed to have started. Because it's not that I don't feel like I have the tools needed to write it, because I'm a wonderful writer, and I'm a wonderful linguist. I love words and all that. But, this is going to be corny. It's just my own self-doubt. So I'm glad that, at your age, that you are able to go through that and not carry that, you know what I'm saying, when you get older and then still be trying to figure it out.
Right. I mean, of course, there's always going to be things to figure out. Like, of course, I don't think that's life. I don't have the answers. I have more answers than I did yesterday.
Hey.
So
That's a
as
blessing.
days go on, you're going to learn more things, and I definitely know a lot more than I did in middle school. I knew a lot in high school. I knew a lot more than I did, and so on and so forth and so forth.
It's a journey.
It's a journey. So, at this point, I'm feeling good with what is happening in my life as far as like my jobs, my relationships, being friends, and my like intimate relationships and all that stuff. So far it's good.
And if I would just kind of interject here, if I could do it all over again, this is what I would be doing. And not because she's just my daughter. It's just that time to get to know who you are as a person before you start procreating and bringing new life into the world with not even all the tools to give the new life. Because I'm just going to, sidebar, like, if it wasn't for her, like when I say save my life, I'm not talking about I was going to commit suicide or anything. I was just on one of those things where you can either, Bugs Bunny, love them, so I'm using that analogy. You can either take that left or right turn in Albuquerque. You know what I'm saying? And it was either I could still continue the bad patterns that I'm doing, and then that's what I'm going to instill in you as a baby, or you going to get your stuff together and step out by yourself in whatever, leaps of faith that you have to do. And I had to do that.
Yeah, it was definitely more of kind of the parent standard of do as I say, not as I do.
Yes.
And always. I didn't get that at first growing up. I was like, I don't understand how those correlate.
Child.
Yeah, I don't think
I don't think
she
so.
Didn't understand
right.
it.
And I still bring that into my work. Like I work at a physical therapy clinic, so I have to teach people from patients who are as young as like 7, 8, 9 to people who are like 80, 90
right.
about like these different exercises. I can't do a Bosu squat, but I can tell you how to do it. Now I can tell you how to get on it, and I can tell you how to get off it.
Right.
But the whole wiggling, I can't
That's not for you.
Do as I say, and not as I do.
But I will say that that was one of the things when it was just you and I that I always did, because also I was finding my own way. I mean, you're what, or one thing I should already know, but I know how old you are. You know what I'm saying? You're 23 years old, and at that particular time in my life, I had already had you. I was 3 years into the game at the age that you are, and just look at the things that you're still learning right now. That's going to take you to the next level. And at that time, just think if you had a child, you know what I'm saying, to where, no, I'm just saying, like, you a child,
you broke the curse.
Generational.
You broke the curse.
She broke the curse, y'all.
Grandma had.
My grandmother had my mom at 17. My mom had me at 19, and I had this beautiful being at 20. And she is 23 years old. And on the right, no signs of children. Well, we already have a pinky swear that I'm not going to be the first grandchild until I'm at least 50. So I got about 6 years left. Is it 6?
You better talk to God about that.
Oh no, we're not talking to God. But within talking to God, what we believe or what I believe, and I'll let you speak after that, so you can give it your belief.
Yes.
What I believe is not even looking down that road until you married, until you solidified with the situation that you're going to be. I mean, because once you start, and I don't regret you at all. What I'm saying is once you start doing things on your own and thinking that you have all the answers and this is what I want or what I feel like it's going to want, yes, the Lord is going to take what's made for evil and make it for good. Yes, he's going to do that. But look at the bumps and the roads and the ups and the downs and the journeys and this and that you got to go through to get to the next level, when you can just really, the guide is there. Not saying that the Bible is 100%, not saying that it's not. But what I am saying is it's a map. Just like Dora had one, Indiana Jones had one. They had a map, okay? It's a map.
So what do you think?
I think, when me and Mom talk about, like, the pact that we made and things like that, it's not necessarily to, like, take the full plan out of God's hands. It's more of a guide. Like,
and I'm not even trying to control her.
No,
because what she gonna do is she gonna do.
Right. It's like, when we was talking about, don't do this or don't do this till you get out of high school. Don't do this, not to control, but more just like to keep my focus on the things that are important.
So,
like, don't have, honest
So that's what it is.
communication
It's not
or the
about- so it's not like taking God out of it.
No.
It's just more about having goals.
your
and
focus.
guidelines.
Yeah, like
So what are
the
you
true.
what are you gonna do to stop God's
Hold on,
plan?
let us see what she was gonna say.
No, I was just gonna say like the true conversation we had. Like you can't honestly tell your child don't have sex till marriage. It gonna happen. Sorry about it. But you can like the conversation that me and mom had is just don't have sex in high school or till after high school. That I can do.
So no.
That you can do.
That's what I did.
That's what I know. And so to say this, parents, that we had conversations on the Lab podcast. What if your child comes home and they have a baby? The reason why I don't look as if in those scenarios is that the goals that I try to set for my children are realistic. I'm not saying. I believe don't have sex till marriage. However, we are in 2020.
We was in 1994.
We was in 1994, and
that was the same saying. It was the same saying.
It was the same saying. It was the same saying, but I couldn't just go on the internet because there wasn't one until 1994, and Pornhub or IXL. We had dumb Playboy magazines that you might be able to find.
DVDs or whatever. There was action.
The moral to the story is things right now are so privy to your fingertips that it's faster to get. I'm not saying we didn't have action.
Right.
It's faster to get nowadays. And not only that, it's in every show. There's innuendos. It's in cartoons.
But that doesn't give it that doesn't say that it's okay.
Well, I'm not saying it's that okay, but what I am saying is it's time to have those conversations with your children before the TV has a conversation, before the school has a conversation, before the homie has a conversation.
True.
Have the conversation to where you can mold or not even control, but at least shape what the understanding.
That's true.
Because I feel like if mom was like, don't have sex till marriage, I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like I hear that all the time. I hear it on TV. I hear it from them or whatever. But the real conversation that we had made it not like, okay, now I'm 18. That wasn't it. It was more of during that time, I'm like, okay, like that makes sense. It made me more open to what she had to say. And then in that sense, I'm like, oh, okay, I don't want to do that anyway. So then I'm like, I have school, I have all this stuff and everything like that. So when, that time happened, it wasn't really like, I'm doing this because now I can. It was more just like, I
felt like you were closer to being ready. Verbal. Mom had something going.
Yeah. And that's the same thing when it comes to the grandchildren thing. It's not because mom doesn't want to become a grandmother.
Oh, because I'm gonna be super TT.
It's not. Yeah, it's not like about vanity. It's not about that. It's that realistic conversation. Because in all, 6 years is not a long time, and ultimately you might be 60. Who knows? I don't know. But
don't make me wait too long.
See,
I want you to be married.
See, and then that part's in God's hands. But because me and mom had that conversation, it put things in perspective. I don't want to have grandchildren until I'm 50. Okay, I'm 23, but that means that I have 6 years. Dang, 6 years.
You're like 28.
Because that's still time. You still got
that's
things
still
you want
like
to
it's
do.
time, but also at the same time, it's not enough time. Like, because you thought of dang, 4 years in high school, that's a long time. Then boom, senior year came. 4 years in college, dang, that's a long.
Man.
Senior year came. Like it comes so fast.
So that 6 years, you're gonna be like, wow, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna go and have a baby now? I gotta go and have a baby now. No, don't rush it.
No, and I'm not, and that's it's just it just gives me it the same thing. It figured what do I want to do in those 6 years that I want to make sure that I accomplish. So in a sense, it puts my focus on what I want.
So what does Blake want?
We've had this conversation, pretty much the same conversation me and mom had about the whole, my mom doesn't want to be a grandmother until she's
Blake's
50.
Mom said that?
No, my mom said that, and I told that to Blake.
Oh.
No, I told that to Blake.
How did Blake feel?
Blake pretty much was like, it makes sense. He has a lot of goals and he has a lot of aspirations as far as, what he wants to do. He's still kind of deciding between, pharmacology or, nursing and things like that. But I know he wants to go in the, healthcare field just like I do.
So he's not ready for children.
He's not ready for children.
Great.
I'm not ready for children. No.
Okay.
So
we're not trying to be grandparents.
We're not trying to be parents. The relationship's still very fresh. But at the same time, these are the conversations that I feel like you should have early on anyway, because you don't want to, because I have these goals, like I want to do this, this, and this, but eventually I do want to start a family, I do want to get married and things like that. You don't want to be in a relationship with someone and then a year later have this conversation, then you find out the person that you felt like you had everything with is like, I actually don't believe in marriage, or I actually don't want kids.
So
right.
how early should you have that conversation? You should be something like, so first, second date, hey, you know what? Do you believe in marriage?
I think before you decide to be exclusive with someone, there's a lot you got to talk about.
What is exclusive nowadays?
Exclusive means that, like, I'm not talking to anyone else. Like, it's just me and you. Then we're figuring this out together. So, like, we don't have that, like, marriage commitment, but we're not, like...
seeking other offers.
We're not seeking other offers.
That makes
sense. So that's exclusive.
That's exclusive. Because for a while, me and Blake were, we were dating. Like, we were just, going on dates,
So while y'all were dating, you guys should see
other people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ultimately. I don't know if he did. I didn't. Like, it was just,
But it was just an open range because there was no commitment.
There was no commitment.
Right.
At that time, we were getting to know each other. We were getting to know what our goals were. So ultimately, like, by the time second or third date, if I'm like, our visions aren't matching.
I'm good.
We're going to cut it off.
And we can still be friends.
And we can still be friends if we choose to. We can just not talk at all.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
But we aren't merging right now.
That's deep.
Once we,
They don't have an app that you guys go on to make sure you guys compatible.
Now, see, once they do all that, I hope not.
That is like, when you sign up for these apps, you put what you're interested in. You can put age preference. You can put
if you want a baby or not, or if you want children.
You can put
it goes that deep.
It goes that deep. Am I open to kids? Do you already have kids?
So they're cutting out all the.
So they're pretty much cutting out the whole awkwardness.
If I could go ahead and pull a flag on the flag, this, my peoples, is where I start getting a little iffy about it. And the only reason I say that is to say this: I get the awkwardness and the preliminary and all that. But we finna start going into the island. I don't know if y'all ever saw that movie about the surrogates. If y'all ever saw that movie. No, the moral to the story is once you start taking the human out of humanity, once you start taking the humanism out of being able to meet people, you're going into AI type stuff.
That's where the gray area is.
Well, for me, I understand.
You're doing a microwave relationship. So what you're saying is, hey, I met you online. Not you, but I'm, what I'm saying. Hey, I met you online. I done took all the way that. I know you want to have this, I want to have that. That's how you have these shows talking about you get married, blind marriages, and people don't even meet each other.
Because they read their profile. Oh, that's fake.
No, but what I'm saying is there's real people that really do this with this virtual reality that we live in.
And that goes to how you use it.
That goes back.
For me, you can read all those little things, read their bio, things like that, but you still need to take that step to get to know them. There has to be background or something. But there are some things that, like, they ask, do you smoke? Do you not smoke? Things like that.
You want to know that.
I want to know that. I don't want our first date, you walking over with a cigarette. I'm done.
Why?
That's not my preference.
I mean, you gotta get to know somebody. He could be an amazing person behind the cigarette
with terrible teeth. I'm not. You see these? I got bomb teeth. Okay, it's not working.
You can't stop God's plan.
It's not working.
Can't stop God's plan. What if you said,
and that's another flag on a plate. He said that you can't stop God's plan.
You can't change somebody unless they want to change.
But Dad said you can't change God's plan. But then if you can't change God's plan, then why are we on these apps in the first place? Because God's plan ain't going to be an app. It's going to be like you meet somebody. You be in a grocery store.
I think that it was developed originally with the good intentions of like how she just
because
she said she
found
the
white man. Remember with the glasses and he was on there.
But how she found Blake, I understand.
Yes,
I
feel like I use it in a good way. And that's how I met Blake, and now we're almost 6 months into our relationship, and he's wonderful.
But through that 6 month relationship, you guys have already discussed, what your goals are, if it's something you want to do in the future.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. That's awesome.
No, that is awesome. But as a mother, I do have a question on that. My question would be, okay, so in 6 months, you have experience, you know, what you want, what you don't want, X, Y, and Z.
Mhm.
So if we're going on these platforms and we're at 6 months, so would you tell me that within the next like 6 more months that it would be cool for him to say, will you marry me? No, I'm just saying if we're moving at the speed of light, I'm just trying to
I
figure
mean,
feel like
because the app cut it out. You already know.
That's what
all
I'm
about it.
saying. That's what I'm
And
saying.
you spent a lot of time with him.
We've spent a lot of time together, yes, but that doesn't take
Not
out the
pressuring you, Blake. That's not what I'm
Oh,
saying.
oh,
No, I'm
oh,
just being
okay.
hypothetical as far as the
Okay.
date in the app.
No, I feel like, you know, it took for me, I can only speak for me.
Of
Absolutely.
course.
It took out that awkward moment that
That's it.
I dread.
And that's it.
for
Everything else is just
everything
okay.
else is still
So- and
it's
that's
still
what it-
traditional.
and
We're
that's
still
that
the-
makes sense.
we're
That
still
makes sense.
you know, there's new things that we find out about each other as time goes on.
Right.
We were dating and just kind of talking, getting to know each other for about 2 months and things like that. You know, and then we felt like it was to the point where we really enjoyed each other's time.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed being around each other. You know, I really like if you can make me laugh.
Man, you know
That-
how I am.
That
all you need.
that's a really big thing for me because I'm the type of person I like to make everyone else laugh.
Yeah.
I don't like anyone else to be down. I don't like a dark environment. I don't
She gets
like
it from
that.
her mom.
I like to be that person to others. So if someone can be that for me, that's rare.
That
So Blake
is
is that.
Blake is that.
Okay, Blake. I
power
met Blake.
to
I like Blake.
you, Blake.
I like Blake. I like what he
Duckworth.
brings to the table. I like what he brings to the table. I met him. He was.
Oh yeah,
he was
he's
gracious.
good people.
He seemed like he's gonna treat my daughter right.
He does.
And that's all
He's
that
just a
matters.
cool cat. So
Don't
get
in
so
matters of the
far
heart.
to the future.
I try not to get in matters of the heart. So.
But I feel like now, like once we got to pass like the app, then I feel like it was in God's hands at that point because
I think it was in God's hands prior too.
It was always in
I mean,
God's hands.
everything's
for
in
sure.
God's
Yeah.
hands.
For sure.
But when
Yeah.
people when we're talking about when you talk about the apps and if you aren't using it correctly, then you try to take away
Right. I see what
from
you're saying.
what's supposed to happen. But I felt like at that point, I just kind of whatever happens happens. A lot of people
have all your experiences been good, or do you know people
absolutely
that?
not.
Okay, so there's been some.
There's been some tragic ones. There's
tragic. Somebody died.
no, not that tragic. Okay, I
When
guess
think
I'm
tragic.
being
I think death.
I'm being a little
Dramatic. Oh my
but
God.
that's just me.
That's
I'm
mom.
sorry,
That's the mom.
but there
Oh,
were
really?
some
It's
real.
just me? Okay.
There was
It's
some
all good.
really-
She get it from her mom. A break, with music break. She get it from her mom. No, here you go, babe.
There's a lot of really good ones. So if we're looking at a spectrum, we're going from like not so good to Blake. It's been.
But to say your first real boyfriend was like what junior year of
Junior
high
of
school.
high school.
We're talking about the middle school. We had a couple of trip ups, but those weren't really
Those
like.
weren't really anything like
Yeah.
right.
I don't consider none of those your boyfriend. I consider those like.
I consider them all lessons, and I
Yes.
think
Amen.
I feel like
Amen.
everyone, I always go back to, this scene in a Tyler Perry play.
Oh,
and
I know.
it was Medea, and he was talking about, some people are leaves, some people are branches, and some people are the root trunk situation.
Amen.
Some, a leaf is not sturdy. It's not meant to be around forever. It changes with the season. They gone. They're here for a season and a reason. And then they gone.
Mm.
A branch, they're a little bit more sturdy, but, they can break under you if you put too much pressure on them.
Yeah.
So in that sense, they can be around for some time, but they aren't ready to be in your life the way you want them to for a sturdy
right.
life, if that makes sense.
I love this
Amen.
analogy.
No, I love it.
Now, for the trunk and the root, that person you need to keep close to you. That person will be there. That person will, with any weather, storms, floods.
That's deep.
Those
No, right.
roots will go. They do go deep.
They go deep.
When you take out a tree from the ground, you see
The
how many
roots are still
roots are
there.
all
Oh my God.
through
Oh
there.
my God.
There's so much stuff in there. Those
I've
are the
never
type.
seen that Tyler Perry movie.
Oh, I'll show you that clip. But those are the people that you want to hold close to you. And I feel like, through middle school, through high school, there's a lot of leaves.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, my ex-person
Leaves.
was,
He might have
He
been a
was a
branch.
branch.
I was gonna say he
He
might have
was
been
a
a branch.
branch.
I'm
I
gonna
would let-
give
I'll
a
let-
branch. Yeah.
but from the pressure that I put on him for what I wanted, or what I thought I wanted,
He broke.
he couldn't see,
Bro.
he broke. And there, in our 5 years that we were, involved with each other, there was a lot of proof of that. And, you know, sometimes, like Medea said, sometimes you can't really tell if this person is going to be a branch or
leave or where.
You know, they kind of wavering because they're not 100% sturdy, but they go be there for like some things, you know? Yeah. So, you know, ultimately, that, you know, that branch, it cracked and we were done.
This is our child, y'all, our oldest.
Hey, that was.
And she know I'm going to always be them roots.
Yes.
I'm going to be the fertilizer. I'm going to be everything that's under the ground, okay?
Yes. Because, and I feel like, you know, and, you know, some of the, I don't want to call you guys pressures, but kind of.
No, I mean,
if someone, you know, and that goes for not just Blake, it goes for my friends, it goes for anyone who wants to be in my life long term. Yeah, you too. Love you. You guys are a lot for a person. You know, I'm still getting used to it.
Getting used to what? Outside on the flag?
No.
I think right now from here, I think your next level. Your next level. Your next level.
I'm confused. That's why I just want to know, get an understanding.
So when I say that to say, you know, you guys are very loving and you guys are very caring, and
towards you.
Towards me, I'm used to it.
Got it.
But you know, when it comes to people coming into my life, you guys are really like, who is this person? What are their intentions? Things like that. And some people aren't used to that. I am.
No, I understand.
And so when it came to, you know, you guys meeting Blake, I was terrified. Because I'm like, okay, this person's either going to be, he going to be a trunk, he going to be a branch, he going to be leaf.
One thing I will say about Blizzy, because I'm a tough cookie when it comes to either of my children and my husband, my mama. Well, anyway, the moral to the story is that family, anybody think it. I won't say he gave me a run for my money. I won't say that because it wasn't a disrespecting. It was more like I've seen a lot of leaves where, and I'm not being like disrespectful to the person. I just have standards to my child, and there have been people that He gave me a run for my money. I will say that he did give me a run for my money too. I did get my feelings a little bit like. Dang, I'm not used to. You know, I know I did remember I told you that I was like, I'm not used to, you know, someone not wavering. And, you know, I was like, okay, that was cool. So, you know, I definitely appreciate that analogy. Your brother feels the same way because when he's
in his leaves.
He's in his leaves.
He's frolicking through the leaves.
So I said all that. I was listening. I want you guys to say this. But the bottom line is this: at the end of the night, like, you know, when you're raising children. It's levels to how they respect what you say and what you do. So it's like, you know, you'll respect everything that we do. Not saying that you don't now, but it'll really, really make sense once you start having your own children. And you have to be that guard.
Oh, it's true.
Guard. You have to be that guard to them and have to be like, who is you? Who are you? And then you be like, man, my mom used to do this.
I mean, I had to actually apologize to my own mom. When I became a mother, not like right the day of, but as I was going through motherhood and raising children, because I myself was a hellion. I was the oldest child and I was the only child for almost 5 years. And yeah, once I started having my own children, I was like, you know what, Mom? I'll apologize for everything that I put you through. I mean, all the back talking. Like, I had to literally humble myself, like,
because you have children and you see how they do it.
Okay.
So.
Where's my son? I thought he was supposed to come for the never-ending story at the end.
Right. So, you know, we're getting towards the end of the show. It's our season finale.
It is our season finale.
We spent 12, 13 beautiful weeks with you guys, and we got great feedback. We love you guys. We're just gonna take a hiatus just to get, you know, our contracts, our understanding together, right? So we can stop having these technical difficulties.
Yeah, we are sorry and apologize for the technical difficulties, but we appreciate all of you guys that have been there.
I mean, shout out to the internal team, like the Quitas, the Tishes, the, you know,
Julia's,
the Michael Masons, the people that really urged us to
Matthews,
go, Tasha Lincolns,
EJs, you know.
Yeah, we love everybody, you know what I'm saying? Any final words, ladies?
Well, I'm waiting for my son to come down because I definitely want you guys to end this year just knowing who we are as a family. I just love y'all. Happy end of the year. Happy New Year almost. Just thank you for a wonderful birthday. And I'm just grateful. These are my BFFs. This is what we do. Here comes my other BFF. Come on in here, Hanny. Come on, handsome. This is my EJ, everybody. You know the one we do when we be leaving for the football games, basketball games, all that. This is my baby right here.
Right.
It's such a blessing to have both of my children at home at the same time. It's a rarity, especially when they're like 10 years apart. But we love you. Would you like to say anything to the people?
Not really.
That's why I didn't have him on, because I know that he's not camera ready.
Yes, I mean, yeah, I am. It's just I don't have anything to say.
I have something
Well,
to say.
tell them to keep supporting your parents.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We
Okay.
love everybody.
They'll be back eventually.
Oh, we coming back.
Okay,
Okay, what you got to
Stand on
say?
up for a second. Okay.
Any final words, Doodles?
Yes.
This is my Doodles.
Excuse me, sir.
Have a cheesecake.
Oh no, that's mine. Okay, so
No, I meant
hello everyone. I'm definitely honored to be able to come on here because I watch this weekly, and you know I always give my little inputs every now and
Yes,
again.
this would be my executive producer.
Thank you. I'm definitely glad that you guys take my suggestions and I don't in my advice or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I love you guys. I really
We
do.
love you.
And I definitely am grateful for all the lessons and the love and things like that because it got me to where I am today.
It is.
So he feels like on a live show, my son can just come in and out when he wants to, right?
And go and try to find you.
So
Okay, you do all that.
it's,
But we love y'all.
it's,
Okay?
it's a hell of a ride around here.
It
in
sure
the Allen
is.
clan, right?
But you know what? We the Allens. Meet the Allens. Thank
Yes.
y'all for tuning in every
Yes.
Wednesday, although today is a Tuesday.
We love you. So
More
look,
support.
people, keep supporting the channel. Analyze this topic. We have things, we try to motivate you. We changing the narrative. We changing the culture. People, until next time. This is the last podcast of the year, man. Take care of yourself.
Yes, this is a new decade, y'all. We're gonna go into a new
Take
decade.
care of yourself.
2020.
And each other.
And each
people.
other.
Let's roll.
Let's go. Hey, hey,
Go support.
hey, hey. Oh.